Now, your portfolio can be kind of any media, really. People tend to think because Escape is all digital, you know, it's all about computers and software and imagery, that all we ever want to see is, you know, stuff you've done on the computer. That's not true. We want to see your creativity, however you've applied it. And we'll go into that in the next few slides. So first rule of applying: don't just copy other people's work. You know, we obviously get hundreds of people applying to us. And one of the things we've noticed, and this is my first tip to you if you're thinking about it, is that, you know, you might have, let's say, a hero. You might have a hero, Ratchet and Clank, or a character out of a film, or a character out of a game, or a manga character, and you end up sort of doing lots of pictures of them, copying those pictures. That's great. It's a great starting point, but don't just show us copies of characters, manga, or sort of from TV, or, you know, images of Deadpool that you've painted, whatever. Try to do something different with them. So if you're going to copy an image of Deadpool, why not give him some different weapons, or a different mask, or a different, you know, way of, you know, more hands, or something crazy. Okay. Don't just copy your favorite character. We get a lot of that, and it doesn't really show us anything. It just shows us that you can copy stuff, and usually the copies are never as good as the real thing. So just bear that in mind. So if you've got lots of images, and if you like doodling manga or anime characters, or you like you know, sort of certain games, think about how you can add a bit about your own personality to those things. Don't just copy. That's my first golden rule for you. Secondly, people always ask us about drawing, because we're digital. People think, oh, well, they don't want to see any drawing because that's, you know, traditional, that's old hat. Well, actually, drawing is really useful, because even today, it's used in industry to quickly get ideas out and check things. Now, here you've got 3 different styles of drawing. Okay, all 3 we want to see. We love drawing. The left is more anatomical. It might be what you call life drawing. And the reason why we like to see some of that, if you've got it, is because we can see how you appreciate things like joints and how things are connected, anatomy, weight, all those things, and also observation. So I don't know about you, but the lady on the left looks a bit glum. She might be sitting in a doctor's surgery or something, waiting and waiting and waiting. That's quite kind of expressive. It doesn't matter if your drawing's not particularly good. Don't get hooked on this idea that, oh, you know, they want to see Leonardo da Vinci. Not at all. Just show us drawing that you've done, you know, and then talk about it if you can. So the kind of drawing on the left is good, but also the more expressive drawing in the middle, that's great as well, because, you know, you might think, well, that's not really observational. No, it's not, but it is very descriptive. So you can be inventive with drawing as well. And we like to see that stuff. And the reason why we like to see that stuff is because it shows that you're creative. It shows that, you know, you can experiment and try things out, you know, and whoever did that drawing probably didn't think, oh, I wonder if this will be good enough for my portfolio. They just did it, you know, and as it happens, it's a kind of exciting, interesting drawing. So we'd like to see that sort of stuff. And then on the right, you know, you can draw things which are just around. You don't have to draw anything special. So in this case, it's some lipstick. It's an observational drawing. They've tried a certain style of probably charcoal, it looks like, or Caran d'Ache or something, you know, with a bit of rubbing. So just experiment. So drawing is what we like to see. Don't worry if you're no good at it in terms of like producing a realistic image. All kinds of drawing are good. If you don't have drawing, don't just do it because I've said we like drawing. There's plenty of other things you can show as well. But if you are into drawing, show us all kinds of drawing. It's all fine. Okay. Likewise, painting. People are surprised at this as well because, hey, we're a digital place. You know, we only use software. Well, actually, for us to see what you've done in paint, if you have done stuff in paint or print, is really useful. So in this case, we got on the left a very abstract picture, and on the right a much more sort of descriptive, figurative picture. all are good, you know, show us that. I mean, we have had people bring paintings in to show us physical paintings, and that's okay. We don't mind if you think it's special, but usually a photograph will do, you know, it gives us a great idea of it. And as always with these things, be prepared to tell us why you've done it. I mean, the person who did the drawing on the sort of the painting on the right, be interested to know what they were hoping to achieve with that, you know, and why they did it. You know, is it part of a theme? You know, are they doing something about their daily lives or something? What's it all about? It leads us in, and you know, we're very interested in people who produce stuff which is interesting. Now, here's another one. Journals and scrapbooks. And again, you know, I'm going to say it again, we're a digital course, we work with software on computers, but journals and scrapbooks and your notes, notebooks, sketches in books are all really good stuff. So if you've only got that, if you've never done any digital stuff, that's still going to get you in. We will accept people who have this kind of stuff, because what we're looking for is creativity. We can give you all the software tools and all the hardware and all that stuff when you're on the course. What we can't give you so much is an innate creative ability. So that's what you have to show in your portfolio. You show that you're a human being, you're curious about stuff, you gathering influences from all kinds of places. And, you know, we get an insight into what is interesting to you. You know, we're not employing robots, we're employing people who have really interesting kind of ideas and imagery. So those two approaches, the one on the left, you know, and the one on the right, are both great. We'd love to see that kind of stuff. And people do bring in scrapbooks or sketchbooks. And again, some people think, oh, well, I've got all these sketchbooks, but they'd never be interested in seeing those because, you know, it's 3D animation. Well, actually, you know, some of the greatest 3D animators in the business still use scrapbooks and journals and sketchbooks because it's so instant and it's so, you know, you can have an idea and pop it in there, and then maybe, you know, 6 months later, it comes as something comes along. You think, wow, what about that idea I put in my sketchbook, you know, 3 months ago or whatever. So really useful. Digital art, of course. So if you've got software on your iPad or you know, tablet or whatever, you know, and you're creating stuff, maybe you're sort of painting crazy worlds or sci-fi panoramas or just weird creatures or sort of, you know, something more at home, like a, you know, I don't know, kind of costume drama or sort of whatever sort of World of Warcraft figures, whatever, show us those as well. So, you know, flights of fancy are really good. You know, you can bring those along as JPEGs, for instance, or however you want to show them. We sort of like seeing that kind of stuff. You know, if you're lucky enough to have something like Photoshop, where you can composite different layers of things or doctor photographs, you know, by changing things in the photograph. That's all great stuff. A lot of people want to show moving image stuff, and that's great. And we'd recommend, if you can, put something on YouTube. Sometimes people send us stuff and it's got weird, sort of what are called codecs or compression algorithms on. So we have a real hard job opening them. So make sure you use some system where everybody can open it, and test yourself before you send it to us that, you know, anybody can read it. Maybe send it to a mate or ask a mate on their computer to check that it opens all right. VLC media player in the corner is something that we use quite a lot to open stuff. But sometimes people send us, you know, obscure files, and you don't want to annoy people by sending them a file and they spend ages trying to open it and getting very grumpy. So make sure you use a format to show you stuff. You can show it as an MP4, for instance. You can pop images onto a Google Drive and give us the link, or put something on YouTube or somewhere else, Vimeo, whatever, and give us the link. And that's helpful. We kind of like to see moving image stuff if you've got it. And again, remember the old saying, we don't just need to see perfect stuff. We don't even need to see finished stuff. We just want to see stuff which you've been creative with. Photography is another great one. You know, whether it's with a sort of a DSLR camera like that one, or whether it's you know, on your phone, just images that you've seen around. You don't have to have gone to Morocco to take shots or anywhere fancy. Just images around your hometown, just interesting observations. Maybe it's of people, maybe it's of you know, you're interested in architecture, or maybe you're interested in rural areas, or maybe you're interested in, you know, long focus imagery or blurry imagery or whatever. You know, as you go around, look out around the world and take photographs. It doesn't really matter where you are. We're not interested in images which were taken in foreign locations because it's exotic. We're more interested in what you've done around you. You know, maybe you've got school projects with photos, but if you haven't, take some yourself in your own free time at weekends. You know, what do you like to do? Maybe you like to go, I don't know, to yachting, or maybe you like to go to a club or whatever. Then take some photographs there. Make sure you ask people's permission, of course. But all that kind of stuff is useful because it shows us that you've got what's called a good eye. In other words, you can spot things that are interesting and are compositionally interesting. We may talk about that a bit in a while. So I've given you some broad ideas of the kind of things that we accept, if you like, and like to see. And by the way, we have had people who bring sculptures, real sculptures, to us for their portfolio. You know, because if you imagine this, you build a sculpture, okay, and it's, you know, obviously a sculpture's 3D. You can walk around it and look at it from different angles. And sometimes it's hard to show that on photographs. So, you know, the only option to you is to bring it to us so we see it, so we physically can touch it maybe. That's fine with us. It doesn't happen it happens very rarely, but just to make the point really that it's all about you showing that you're creative and us going, oh, that creative person, we could really do something with them because they've got the creative knack and we've got the software. Let's put the two together.